What is up, everybody? Welcome to Freq Boutique number 48. We're just crushing through these. And I couldn't be more excited for the show we have going on tonight. If it is your first time tuning in to a Freq Boutique, welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Alex. I work for a company called WMD. We make modular synthesizers and guitar pedals. And what this whole night is about showing off the music that is made with these awesome instruments. So Freq Boutique was a party. We are based in Denver, Colorado. So it was a party that was based in Denver. And now we are pretty much worldwide. So we have people from all over the world coming to watch and play this awesome, cool online event. And you can see it right here. So I'd like to just say thank you so much for hanging out with us. And again, we have a really cool show coming up for you. We've got lots of great performers. And we're just going to get right into it. So our first performer is Prizm Prime. Enjoy.
It's really important to remember that music is beautiful. I've always believed that. Hey man, here we go. let's dance. Everybody danced, and I went, everybody danced. Everybody danced, and I went, wow, how cool is that? I've always believed that. It's really important to remember that music is beautiful. Let's dance. Everybody danced, and I went, wow, how cool is that? It's really important to remember that music is beautiful. danced, and I went, wow, how cool is that? Let's dance. Let's dance. Everybody danced, and I went, everybody danced. Everybody danced, and I went, wow, how cool is that? It's really important to remember. It's really important to remember. It's really important to remember that music is beautiful. I've always believed that. I've always believed that. Hey man, here we go. How cool is that? How cool is that? How cool is that? Everybody danced, and I went, everybody danced. Everybody danced, and I went, wow, how cool is that?
So dope. Prizm Prime, everybody. How cool is that indeed?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what up?
Hey, had to switch over to the headphones with the mic real quick.
Yeah, for sure. That was awesome, dude. Thanks for playing.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. So this is your first time playing Freq Boutique.
Absolutely, yes.
So where are you located?
I'm in Panorama City in California, which is like the valley in California.
Cool. And then when people play for the first time on Freq Boutique, I kind of ask a little bit. So I ask more about what is your philosophy going into a patch when, like, you have something coming up and you're trying to put something together. Maybe like some modules that you like to use and just kind of like what you think about when you're going into it.
Sure, absolutely. With this patch in particular, I just picked up the Erica Synths drum sequencer, which is allowing me to send trigger signals out to like 16 different modules in the system. And I've created quite a few patterns that I can, kind of go back and forth between during the jam. So my main thought process behind building this jam was to build quite a bit of pattern so that I would have some material that was kind of ready to go. The first half of the jam I sort of tried to focus more on four on the floor type of groove, and then kind of in the second half I kind of tried to break that down into some broken beat stuff and kind of change it up a little bit.
Totally. Yeah, more old school electro style.
Yeah, exactly.
What so and then you have the Erica Black sequencer on the right. Is that what I
Yeah,
see?
I have the black sequencer 2 on the right as sort of like my main melodic sequencer, and that's allowing me to do the same thing as the drum sequencer to have quite a few patterns that are pre-programmed and ready to go.
Do those talk to each other, or do you have to like set them separately?
I've got it set up now, so when I press play on the black sequencer, that the drum sequencer just starts going in a perfect sync.
Yeah,
But to change the patterns on those, I do have to do it on both sequencers manually.
cool.
It's pretty
Dope.
cool though. It's pretty cool though because a lot of the sequencers I've worked with previously, you have to change the pattern on like the one bar before the downbeat. But these I've actually got it set so anytime during like a 16 bar pattern, I can press go to the next pattern and then not have to worry about it. You know what I mean? About hitting it
Yeah,
directly on the measure before. So that's kind
right.
of a bonus.
So it does. So it moves at the end of the phrase, then, or it just goes
Exactly.
immediately.
Yes, at the end of the phrase, it will change to the next
Yeah,
pattern once I tell it which pattern to go to.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, and then where were the vocal samples coming from?
I got those from a YouTube video. It's from Nile Rodgers. He's like a funk guitarist.
Oh yeah, he's a shit.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah, so I just found I really like putting vocal samples in like pretty much everything I do. That way, sort of the music will have an identity besides just the music. Because for instance, like if a month from now someone's like, "Hey, remember that one jam you played? It was that techno jam." I'm not going to have a clue, right? But
No,
if they can reference, the vocal sample, "Hey, it was that one that you said, music is
yeah,
beautiful." Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
feel the same way. I feel like the more we are influenced from DJing and DJs and stuff, it's like the more you want to be able to bring in something that might sound familiar, even though
Sure.
it's brand new. Um,
Absolutely.
so what module is playing the samples or the vocals?
I'm actually using an iPad over here on the right, and I'm using an app called Beatmaker 3, which
Okay,
is my favorite DAW on the iPad. And it's kind of similar to a Kai MPC Live in that it has, 16 pads or 128 pads, and I can just load sounds to those and play them back in real time. The same way with the melodic elements that I was playing over here. These are just patches that I've created inside of Beatmaker 3 that I've got in the same key as the jam.
cool. Yeah. So that was my next question. So those are all just basically different kits that you can just pull up and cycle through, like different programs
Exactly.
you would
Yeah,
call it on the PC.
I've got 4 banks actually loaded in Beatmaker 3 currently, and I can just tap the top of it here and switch back and forth between the banks to either bring up the vocal samples or one of the 3 playable instruments that I've
Okay.
created.
Yeah, it sounded like some of the vocal samples were uh like sequence. Is that happening in there too? Because like at the end,
No,
I didn't see you press it and then it happened.
no, all the vocal samples are just in real time. There isn't
Okay.
anything connecting the iPad to the system per se.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's just all manual.
Exactly.
Oh, what are you using for mixing?
Oh my gosh. The thing is I've got a whole bunch of little mixers in the case, and I've actually got a Bifaco hex mix for a pretty robust mixer in the case.
Okay.
But I've got like 3 dope for mixers, and I've got 2 other stereo Bifaco mixers, and I'm running outputs from those. Actually, it's not in the shot really, but I'm using the 1010 blue box to the side, and I'm routing all of those into that, which gives me access to have a little bit of extra EQ and processing on those sounds as well from the blue box. And in fact, I meant to hit record. I even have a little note here that says hit record, and somehow yet again I managed to not remember to hit record on that jam.
Yeah, of course, dude. That's how it goes every
Right.
time. Awesome. Yeah, I was curious about the mixer on like that's not in the rack, the one on the right hand side. Is that not being
This
used?
this is not being used. It's just a cheap Behringer mixer.
Okay.
I actually have 2 I have a Mac system on the left in here and a PC system on the right. And this
Right.
is actually just connected to my PC so I can get some volume to the speakers.
Cool.
It's just a cheap Behringer mixer, but actually I've really beat the hell out of it, and it seemed to last and last and last.
Yeah, they are what they are. It's fine. I was looking at it and I just like it looks black, it looks cool from here. So I was like,
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it's got a crossfader on it. It's very useful, you know.
yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, you have a pretty helpful YouTube channel. The Electronic Sounds is what the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, exactly. Electronic Sounds Audio. I try to do tutorials on everything from, when I started learning Eurorack, I kind of started doing some videos on that so people could kind of watch the process of me learning it as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's a good concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just everybody that's watching, make sure to subscribe to Dean's YouTube channel and follow on Instagram. Electronic Sounds. I actually just watched a video of his the other day, and it was very helpful. So super awesome.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for playing, and we really
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks everybody for being here. This is awesome. Super excited to just keep this show rolling, and yeah. So we've got plenty of more performers. Make sure to pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, maybe have some snacks up. I like to always mention the snacks because sometimes you just forget that that's like a really important part of enjoying yourself. So hang out with us. Stick around. Up next, we have an awesome performer, and they are called Jmccoy. Party on.
Had it, they somewhere that book they exhalation had it. I thought I knew that. I didn't see the smoke. They actually that much only smoke because somewhere that the blind didn't smoke. We read somewhere that the blind. We had another speculation. I remember smoke because of speculation. I remembered having read that they couldn't see the smoke. I read another drink concerning that leg. I remembered having smoke because of the smoke because of speculation. I remembered having read someone couldn't see the smoke. They this blind. We read down to the nubbin and then lit it. This blind man flipped it in. Who is that? Ashtray and my wife. We hey, this blind to the nubbin and then lit another one. This blind. Another one. Dear sister, for you. Dear sister, to you at night. For one another, that Jesus is coming here. Come for you, as well as coming for you. Dear sister, for you. Beloved, another. Come for one another, you come for one another. You come for you. Dear sister, tonight. You come for you. Beloved, one another. Come for one another again. Another, dear sister, beloved, coming for you. Dear sister, for you. Come for one another. Come for me again. For one another, sister, tonight. For you, dear sister, tonight. Come for you tonight. Another. Come for one another, my dear beloved. Come for one sister tonight. As it was coming for you. As it was coming for you. Another. Come for one another, beloved. Come for one was coming for you. Dear for you. For one another, my dear beloved. You, dear sister, tonight. For you. Again.
one another. Come for one another. For Satan, come to will one another. For these words. Come for one team, come for one another. Wherefore, done the will of God. Those that wherefore the will of God these words. Come for one another. For Satan, come for one another. Where the will of God. Those that have been watching. Where have been come for much. Come for another. These come for have come therefore say much have those but have been for God resembles them with therefore say the wind these have those for God say one
purpose of these questions? Like I said, they're just trying to establish a baseline. For what? Fidelity. So, what's the purpose of these questions? Like I said, they're just trying to establish a baseline. For what? Fidelity. So,
at least 1,000 times, and yet it doesn't dull your courage. Tell me, is that all you aspire for, Jenny?
There's a girl better than I deserve. Maybe someday soon we'll have the life we both been dreaming of.
No, you never will. Your job is not to protect her or to keep her here, to ensure that the guests find her if they want to.
for what? For what?
Have their way with this girl. Tell me, has it ever occurred to you to run off with her?
I've got some reckoning to do before I can be there.
This message.
Dear, how queer everything is today. And yesterday things went on just as usual.
Dope. Everybody, this is Jmccoy. And taking us through the nice set with lots of dynamics and cool places. Yo, I can hear you now.
All right. Is that cool?
Yeah, you're good. What's up?
Good. Well, good. How are you?
Chilling. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah.
So when you get ready to play a live stream like this, how much preparation goes into it in terms of like writing and making sequences and things like that?
Well, To me, I kind of thought I just started this patch yesterday.
Nice.
So I was kind of exploring some new modules I had for all the sequencing.
Okay, what are those?
They're from Morphacoustic. It's the intervallic, and then I have the additive transposer. So it's basically it was kind of like this. It was a premise. The concept was having the same source of CV, but he got malted out, and one malt went through the transposer. So when you put those two together, it had all these crazy harmonics and stuff going on with it. So that's kind of where all that came from. Like, I have more sources going into the Ornament and Crime for CV, but I never changed it. So everything was done with just the intervallic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to just keep riffing on that, but that sounded cool. So, and then I just had the iPad playing some the ER1 emulator, the Korg drum machine.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
So that's where the drums are coming from mostly, is from the.
Yeah, it was just that, and like now that I know that this patch is going to have drums behind it, once I record it, those drums are just going to be a placeholder until I get into my friend, and then he's going to chop everything up and make a song out of it. But yeah, it was kind of a cooler patch than I thought it was going to be. I thought it's more fleshed out than I thought.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
You brought us up, and then we jammed for a while, and you brought us back down. So I was curious with seeing the Starling modules up there. I'm curious about how much logic is going into a patch like this.
Yes. With that, how many are being used right now? Two are, well, I guess they're all being used, but those are most of the synth voices that you heard.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's what all that was coming from, because I have like a Submix 6. Excuse me. And
yeah,
what I like about that mixer is that you can break up into two groups of 3. So like the top 3 are all my synth voices, and then everything else under it was like the samples and all that other stuff. But you can self-patch into the Starling stuff to get all these crazy phase modulation happening. So that's where a lot of the distorted tones and things were coming from.
Okay, cool.
So it's basically a harmonic oscillator being phase modulated.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of fleshes out the tonal range real easily when you're using something like that.
Totally. Yeah, I love the Submix 6. I think that it's a good small mixing module that is kind of underrated / not as well known as it could be.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
So yeah, as far as the drums go, that's all. So that was mostly coming from the iPad. Was there any like drum sounds patched or anything? Like, the rhythmic stuff that might have been patched.
I was going to, but I don't usually patch too much drum sounds. Like I said, this patch just got started, and I figured since I was playing this, it would be nice to have some kind of beats behind it. So I mean, it's all presets that I made before. So and then I had it going through some effects, which were these things. These are Lacey's. These are like the shit for as far as like just sending drum machines through.
Yeah, what are those? I'm not familiar with those.
One's the Bitterman, the red one, and then the yellow one's the filter, which is tap tempo. So it's you can has patterns already kind of in it. It's really versatile. Those things. There's a whole line, and they kind of were underrated, and they were geared towards guitar players, but it's a tabletop unit, and they just never went anywhere. So I would highly recommend looking them up if you want some spare effects for drum machines.
Yeah, that's dope. And then as far as like, I was curious about where the vocal samples were coming from.
That was just the Music Thing modular. I started out with a bank of, just because I have a bunch of tapes laying around from just thrift stores. So that's all those samples were from. Because down south, you'd find a lot of preacher or religious tapes at the thrift store.
course.
So I have like just tons of those, and then I ended with some Westworld samples because I've been kind of obsessed watching that show and just pulling samples out of it.
Nice. And so that's the radio music you're playing those back with?
Yeah, something real simple. But now that I have a sampler, it's starting to itch. Like I'm ready to go to the next level with something a little more versatile or playable. But yeah, that's all it was.
Nice. No, I mean that's great. I love playing vocal samples off radio music. I think it's a super fun way to do it, and it's, you know, I get questions about ways to use modules that will kind of act as like another person or an interactive element, and it's like, well, when you use a sampler such as that, where whether it's playing a loop or whatever, not in time necessarily, but it's just going. That can give you like a little bit more of a surprising organic feel to where when you bring it in, you're like, oh, we're at that part now. So now I need to wait a couple extra, seconds because I want you to hear this part. And it's kind of a little bit more interactive.
That's cool. Yeah. I get. And I also had it going through the gate seek, which is one of the VIA modules, which is basically it kind of is a Euclidean generator. So when you send audio through it, it basically slices up the incoming audio in time with whatever input you put it in. So, in time with the trigger. Yeah. So that's how I was able to chop up the audio in time with the beats too, which that I really dig. It's fun just slicing up audio with that thing.
Oh, what is that from?
That's one of the VIA modules. It's called a gate seek.
Okay.
That's where all my rhythmic elements come from as far as timing is for envelopes and whatnot. It all gets generated from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And and then I send stuff through Logic, but then it branches out. But that's the core. Like if I didn't have that, I don't know what would happen. The kind of thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I might have to look at that a little bit more in depth. Sounds really cool. Well, thank you so much for playing.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Anytime.
Yeah, of course. And thanks everybody for being here. Jmccoy, awesome set. And we're just going to keep this one rolling. So up next, we have Ann Hedonia.
Stress, physical and mental 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 stress.
Наше самое заветное желание. Самое быстрое. Здесь исполнится ваше самое заветное желание. Самое выстраданное.
So rad.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for playing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm always happy when you get on the bill, and this was just, yeah, no exception. This was super cool. Yeah, so talk about some parts about the set. We had vocal samples kind of throughout the set in the beginning, and I was curious what those were being played off of.
The vocal samples were from the Morphogene and the Erica Synth sample drum.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you want to know what the samples are?
Yeah, of course.
One of them was this video I found on a found footage festival. It was like a woman trying to get you to relax, and she kept saying stuff about like after staring at your computer all day. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's what we're all doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other one was a Cure sample that I just like took a little bit of and then flipped it backwards and like tuned it up. And then the one sample in Russian is from Stalker.
Okay.
So
I don't know what that is. Is that a movie?
It's a movie. Yeah, you should watch it. It's really good.
All right, cool. What were the chords from? Is that a sample?
That's actually Platts.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded cool. It sounded super like, to me, it just sounded like a filtered out sample.
Yeah, it's that the chord setting on Platts sounds really cool. You just got to get it just right.
And then, did you have like a phaser effect going on, like hi-hats and things like that?
I had a hi-hat, but I was like going back and forth with the tune knob live, and then I was turning it like up and down.
All right, that might have been just what I was hearing then. Because yeah, someone said pitched hi-hats FTW in the chat, and I was paying attention. I was like, that sounds like a phaser to me, so I was curious. Sweet. And then yeah, so drum sequencing, where's that all coming from?
It's all the Hermod.
Really? So you're using Hermod for drums, for drum sequencing? I
use it for everything. It's sequencing the ARP via MIDI, and it's sequencing Platts. It's sequencing everything except for sample drum, the Pro 3, and Morphogene. So yeah, it's pretty much like the brain of everything.
Okay, and then the kind of like ARPy bass like sound we were hearing, was that the 2600?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that was a sample. That was super cool. And so do you have 3 6Us there? You have the two like on my left, and then the drum system or the techno system?
Yeah, I have 2 IntelliGel cases and then the techno system, and then I just got another case that's over there that has like a few things in it. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. That's growing.
That's awesome. And then were you using the, I don't know what the orange synth is, but the
I wasn't using that. The Fuse box, I wasn't.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I think that's it. Is there anything else you want everyone to know about your set?
No, I had fun. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for playing. It was
You're welcome.
And we all had a great time.
Yay.
Yeah. Can't wait to have you back.
Bye.
See you later. Thanks everybody for being here. Marie Ann Hedonia, so good. amazing set, and really excited to keep the night rolling. If you are interested in playing Freq Boutique, you can sign up. And if you haven't signed up and you keep saying in the chat that you feel like you want to sign up and you just forget to sign up, now is the perfect time to do so. And you can do that at coloradomodular.com/Freq Boutique sign up. This is also a great time for me to shout out Colorado Modular Synth Society. Looking at my camera at myself right now. Just in general, huge thanks to Sign Mountain and Monoscene both for helping us out. Monoscene is running all of the behind the scenes things, switching the cameras, making sure everything runs smoothly, doing all the sound checks, and just honestly making us look good and making me look like I know what I'm doing. I know what I am doing, which I obviously have no idea. And then also Sign Mountain is integral for helping me get everything going and doing the announcements. And we do those 1 week before. And then as well as huge shout out to My Doll Finger, who could not play tonight, but does all of the Colorado or the art for Freq Boutique. So just, this is a community effort, and just wanted to say thanks to everybody who helps me out with it. But yeah, if you want to sign up, make sure to do that. Basically, you sign up, your name goes into a pool, and then I go through a week before the show, and I do a random selection of who gets to play. And then if you get selected, you get an email, and if you can play, you just confirm, and then you can play. If you cannot play or you do not get selected, your name stays in the pool, and you can actually sign up again to put 2 names in the pool, kind of like a lottery system. Therefore, you have a better chance of playing next time. So make sure to sign up. coloradomodularsynthsociety.com is the place to do that. And we're just going to keep this rolling. We've got a few more performers, so don't go anywhere. Up next is xruns.
施設において重要な役割を果たしています。
I think that echoes on my side, but I think it sounds cool. So there we go.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Hey, Alex.
I cannot hear you.
Can't hear me? Hello, hello. No? No?
Oh, that's my fault. That's totally my fault. I can totally hear you.
You can now?
Yeah, I just had you muted because I was listening on my big speakers because that's where it sounds good.
Okay, good, because I have not had any technical issues tonight at all.
You out anymore. You already may have been from your totally non-technical difficulty existent night. Yeah, we're just gonna run right over that. I mean, that was amazing, and I'm so glad that we got it running and everything just ran.
Oh my God, me too. Me too.
Were you able to relax a little bit?
Shout out to Monasi because he figured out the simple solution that always freaking works, that you can never think when you're in the middle of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. All right, so xruns, this is your first time playing, so thank you so much for playing Freq Boutique.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
And where are you located right now?
I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Sweet.
Yeah. I've been here for 5 years, and I'm originally from Mexico City.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And so your move to the States was straight to Brooklyn, or have you been around?
No, I was in San Diego for 7 years or 8 years.
like
so I have my SoCal thing, you know, and
yeah. Now you got the East Coast thing.
Yeah, now I do, but you know, I still have my deep, like, you know, California TJ thing, you know. I miss TJ. I think TJ is the most fun part of San Diego, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I've heard. Every time I'm in San Diego, that's where everyone wants to go.
Yeah, you have to go to La Rebo to just party there.
Absolutely. All right, so yeah, your like philosophy coming into playing a set, what is like how much is pre-programmed versus like improvisation?
It's mostly I don't know, half and half, I guess, because you have a certain set of parameters that you can like move around, and then it's about improvising over those parameters.
Of course.
And so for me, what works a lot is to have a specific signal chain, like kind of like fixed, and then improvise over that chain as I'm going, right? So one of the things I was doing now is, so I have the assimilator doing a bunch of samples.
Okay.
So basically 3 samples, and I have them all in like one of the bubble mix. And so that's fixed, but then, you know, the specific amount of each one, and then they're all going to the herb.
Okay.
And
were you like switching up the start points on those, kind of like chopping them up with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I love. So I use the assimilator for that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I love about it is this insane amount of modulation you can use for pretty much everything. It's just like an amazing piece of work. I'm like flapping. It's just amazing. And so what you can do is you can modulate the starting point of the sample, and so it's doing some sort of like back and forth, and then like scrubbing, but then you have all these like cross modulation abilities too, and that's I love doing that because it just sounds interesting somehow, like half of the time it sounds crappy, but then half of the time you're like, all right.
Like with the phase modulation, like modulating the
So that is one of the main things from the assimilator, and I have not explored it that much because the way I work, I don't have constant sounds, and I feel like the phase modulation needs some sort of constant sound, and then you can modulate with something else.
Right. Yeah.
And I use it more like boom, 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 boom. So I feel like my workflow right now doesn't allow me to exploit fully the phase modulation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can get kind of distorted and noisy, and you'll get noisy really quick with that stuff. I use the assimilator a lot, and yeah, I use like basically like I'll use two channels simultaneously with single cycle waveforms. And they're just oscillators, and then phase mod each other.
Yeah,
and, yeah. So like you said, constant sound that works pretty well.
that works well.
Yeah. So were the piano samples coming from assimilator?
No, actually, the piano samples are coming from the laptop, and so I feel like it's kind of a dirty word, but I do like to have a hybrid setup.
Absolutely, hell yeah!
And so synchronizing the like PAMs and the laptop has been a huge journey for me. But now I feel like I have that like settled down, and so what I like to do is I like to use a computer for the computer strengths, and I like to use the rig for its strengths. And so having a piano in the rig just sounds silly to me because maybe I don't understand very well how to do it, but it's so easy because I have a VST and I use a Piano Tech VST, and so that's all coming from the laptop directly, and so I sequence it and I just mix it in.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm all about the hybrid setups and
yeah.
using the modular for what it's good for and using the computer for what it's good for. Like, it is a pain to figure it out and get your syncing right and whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, once you get it, it is like tempting to try something else. And it's like, no, just use what you have. If it works, just go for it.
Yeah, because I feel like doing everything only in one system it can get rather expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to do like at some point I had some drum sequenced, doing that in the rig would cost me a lot of money, and in the DAW it's there already. And so that taking each strength and using that in a hybrid system for me has been like a big like, oh my God, why have I not done this before?
Yeah.
And I have a small rig, as you can see, and so that forces me in a way to exploit like the strength of each thing as much as I can.
Yeah. So what are you using to integrate the computer, like the computer sounds and the modular sounds?
So the main thing is the Express Sleepers, the modules. That's my main gateway.
Cool.
And my DAW, I use Bitwig, and so. Bitwig has like very nice, I think from the ground up integration with modular.
Yeah.
And I haven't used Ableton in years, so I really cannot say how it looks now, but I remember back in the day it wasn't. And I know now it is with the CV tools and all that stuff.
Yeah, it does it. I will say that, I mean, I use Ableton now. Bitwig is great. I think Bitwig is amazing, and the like built-in Eurorack integration is just amazing. And
it's amazing.
Everything about Bitwig just works really well. I honestly use Ableton right now because I have the Launchpad Pro Mark III, and it like integrates really well with Ableton, and I just love that piece of kit. And so that's like kind of the main reason why I kind of made the switch. But Bitwig is so good.
Honestly, Ableton is obviously a fantastic piece of software, and it's what everybody uses, and we all use it. But it has a modulation from the ground up, and so the mindset with the modular rig, it just kind of like matches in a way that's like, oh, perfect,
I think if you're into modular, or at least into audio, like live sound or any sort of kind of audio, like live audio modulation kind of things, like Bitwig just makes a lot of sense right away, where you're like, you have all the slots to bring in an LFO and just drag it on to the module you're working on and kind of build what you're doing. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And for anyone in a modular, it makes so much sense because it's not an afterthought, whereas like Ableton, obviously they've been around for a long time.
Exactly.
Put in CV tools 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So those crazy like kick sequences that were going on, was that all coming from the DAW?
No. So I use the DAW for the basic like punch punch punch, right? Because that's But then all that stuff was coming from, so the eloquencer is sequencing the assimilator, like the first 4 channels of the assimilator, but that's all done with the eloquencer. And I love it because it has this probabilistic mindset. And so it's really good to do like funky patterns that just like.
Absolutely. Yeah, probability is so fun, and I love the eloquencer is kind of like built around that idea.
Yeah. I think so. I'm not entirely familiar with a bunch of sequencers. I'm kind of new to sequencers in a way, but the eloquencer was perfect for me because it has this probabilistic framework from the ground up, like you know, like you said, and that makes a lot of sense because then you can have a ton of variation just happening from the ground up, you know?
Yeah, I think that one of the things from eloquencer is like, it's like in one of the first lines of the manual, you know, is like talking about probability, or it might even be in like the subtitle of the of what it says that it is that it starts you thinking about probability before you even buy it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot
it's
of
like
other
the main selling point.
things that's kind of like, again, kind of an afterthought.
An afterthought.
Something that
Exactly.
whereas that kind of seems like it's kind of main bread and butter.
Yeah, totally.
So my last question is, I noticed some lights next to the key step, to the right of the key step, and I was curious as to what that was. Is that a launch pad?
That's a launch pad. Yeah, that's the mini.
Okay. Cool.
That's the mini.
Guitar?
Yeah, exactly. And so in this integration kind of thing that I'm trying to work out, that has been a godsend because then I can just very tactilely just push stuff and then stuff happens, you know?
Yeah,
and I love it.
Wow.
And so this little guy has a lot of functionality packed into it, but I just really just use like 5%. I just use it as a glorified clip launcher.
Right.
And it works perfect for that. You know, it has the color coding and it's easy, like, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's like, I think that's the way to do it with the hybrid setup. And like the thing I always have to remind myself is like, yeah, the computer can be a ton of things, but it really works well if you choose a couple things or one thing and just kind of let it be that. And being a clip player is just, you know, such a good way to do it. And, you know, like a clip preparer, you know, something to prepare all the clips and get everything ready to go.
Yeah.
But awesome. Well, thank you so much for playing, man. That was so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Talk to you.
Thank you, guys.
Of course.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for being here. Freq Boutique number 48. We're just gonna keep rolling. Again, if you do want to sign up to play Freq Boutique, you can have a chance to play and be a part of this. Colorado Modular Synthsociety.com/Freq Boutique sign up. Just get on board, get involved, be a part of the community, and you know, show us what you're working with. Whether it's your first performance, whether it's your first ever modular patch, I mean, just it's what it's all about. It's really about just sharing what you're working on, hanging out, and just uplifting each other and just seeing what we're all doing. Whether you make, it doesn't matter what kind of music you make, and it doesn't matter anything. Like that's what this is really about. So if you want to play Freq Boutique, be sure to sign up. And yeah, we're just going to keep on rolling. We have 2 more performers, so don't go anywhere. Up next, we have JinksHQ. All right, very nice.
Hey.
How's it going? That was awesome.
Good. How are you, Alex?
Doing well. Your setup changes every time, and this one was pretty interesting with the screen setup, and I was trying to figure out if it was on the table or if it was vertical. So it's cool to see it from this angle.
Yeah, so I always try and I'm like stuck in here, and I kind of like think, how can I make this? How can I make it interesting in some way?
Yeah.
You know?
Seems like a pretty small space.
Yeah. One day I'll get out and escape and play live somewhere. Stuck in the cubby. Stuck in this space.
So let's just talk about the visuals real quick. What were those being generated from?
So I've been shooting some Patchy Scan. Patchy Scan is an app on iPhone that's like a 3D scanning app, and it's super basic, and it's free. And I use it with I use a gimbal on the iPhone, so it's really smooth, and you can shoot it. And there's an option to have like a black screen after you've done the scan, and once you've done the scan on something, you can move around it and investigate it. It's like this crazy, you know, and then it gets stuck in its coordinates, so you can investigate other things that you've scanned in the space. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So I did a bunch of scans of just around the house and outside and stuff, and then threw it together to have something to show. But I really love it. I love the Patchy Scan thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just kind of seems like it brings up the vibe in your room too. It just kind of gives you some moving lights and probably just gives you a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, I just twisted the projector around. It usually points at a screen over there so we can watch movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I just kind of like just bounce it over here a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
I'm getting a bit desperate. I'm going to have to do something more interesting next time again.
Oh, not at all. That's perfect. That's awesome. So yeah, I was curious about it's kind of the theme of the night. It's like the down-sampled vocal samples you had going on.
Well, I started this this patch last week, and I was trying to do the sequence your sequencer kind of thing to break up the rhythms and have more control over that. And then it started to sound really Boards of Canada-ish, and then I went back to this samples I had of the French horn that I then put into in the bitbox and sample, splice them all up so it would jump around and you know trigger different parts of the horn.
Yeah,
which is really nice. And so I had a couple of layers of that, and that was like the vocals of like the Boards of Canada, where they would usually just kind of sample splice a vocal piece that goes ooh yeah, ooh, ah, and then have that be in rhythm with the break, you know.
Yeah, totally cool.
So then in the end I just stuck a you know, because there's usually some kind of like human voice in there going strawberries or something in Boards of Canada. And I just always, again, when I finish my patch, I always end up using this guy and throwing some lo-fi sample on top that
right,
which just sits there and loops forever. And
okay, awesome. Yeah, the French horn was super cool. I was curious about that. So that's being in bitbox, and then did you have like the sample rate being reduced on that as well?
No, it was actually playing through. I built a safety valve overdrive module, which is a valve ECC 83, and it's a really basic circuit, but I put a really old 1950s Mallard valve in it, and so it's really creamy overdrive. And so I just ran that sample through. The great thing about the Bitbox Micro is the big box is it just has so many outs. You can send stuff to different things and choose where you want to send stuff, and that's really great. It's a super flexible
totally
sampler.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was just like spliced and chopping the crap out of it. You know? Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And then are there what other sound sources were doing melodic stuff?
Well, the newest thing I got was an Akime's Castle, and I ditched the Moog. I got sick of the Moog. I was like done with East Coast sound of the Moog, and I've started building ring modulators and wave shapers, and getting more into wave folding and wave shaping and harmonics rather than filtering. Although I still love a good filter.
Absolutely.
But the Accumes Castle, I mean, it's a twin VCO, so you can trigger them separately and have them in different modes. And you know, I really like, and it's original Yamaha chip, so it just sounds amazing.
Yeah, Accumes Castle is super cool. That's definitely one that's on my list for when I have space.
Yeah, I sold the Moog to buy it. I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of the Moog and then swap it out with something that has two voices, because I already have filters and I didn't need the sequencer on the. You know, the Moog was just taking up real estate, and
yeah, it's a great way to get started. And then after a while, it's like, you know, some people just fall in love with it and never remove it, but a lot of people replace it.
I think if I hadn't got the bug for all the other stuff, I would probably just stick with a Mother 32 and a subharmonicon and a DFAM and be happy, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm just too curious about all of the stuff to do that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great set. I really appreciate you playing.
Thank you. It's always a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I don't know. Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll have you back soon, I'm very sure.
Sweet, yeah. Looking forward to playing live one day, Alex. I really am. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
Oh god.
I think soon enough. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
All right.
All right,
Take care,
thanks
man.
again, Jinx.
See you again. Bye.
And thanks everybody for being here. Freq Boutique number 48, almost coming to an end, but not quite yet. Still have one more performer, so please stick around. We're just gonna get right to this one. Up next is Wabi Sabi.
Eskilerde dersin civarında eski tasınların şintrasın hayatışsın en umur başında gecikin kaşalası Öden berdet satı Nini hovut hoydet satılıların mümkürlükleri keçer Evet, öden dağıdın yolca Durant nefsin bundan mümkün tadırlarlar Ödsünlerin atsınları bütçükçe Sizlerle sözünde bulunduğunda Kırsın hatırlarının bir cüzeydi. Hayatındaki sarfara öldükçe Onun kimse netzakasını öldükçe
All right, very nice.
Thanks. How you doing?
Doing well. Having a great night. So where are you located at?
Oh, come on. You don't remember meeting me?
I mean,
we met
for the rest of the people, man.
I'm in Seattle.
You're in Seattle, all right.
Yeah, remember when you came to Velocity and you were setting up a table and you couldn't get the speakers to work on the table?
Yes.
And I over to you and say, hey, what's up? That was me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I remember it. We talk on the internet every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for playing. This is really cool. Glad to have you on.
Thanks. Glad to be on.
So yeah, you said in the private chat, you said, "Oh man, I don't have a vocal sample, so I'm gonna put one in there really fast."
I did.
How did that come about?
So I have a radio music over here, and I knew I had some sort of Russian vocal sample on there, so plugged it in, and it was just a few seconds later I found it and tapped it in, and it kind of worked. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a perfect intro, and it just kept the theme going. Someone asked in the chat if we had a theme for the night, but no, we do not have a theme for Freq Boutique. We never have a theme. It's all just do what you want to do, and but everybody does get to watch each other. So if you are inspired to do something, then you can do that. Cool. So I as well, what were the chords kind of through the beginning of the set?
I started out with the Swan. The Swan was running here, and then that was at the very beginning, and I was playing a sample off from Morphogene with that.
Okay.
Then the other chords are coming. One was coming from the ensemble, and another from Spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I think I heard a Crucible in there. Is that right?
You did? Yep.
And were there any other drums in there?
So the toms were all done through a Bitbox.
Okay.
And I also had the bass drum was coming through. I got tons of bass drum modules, but I found that my favorite one is still Mutable Instruments Peaks. The 808 model in there, and then going through the muscle compressor. Just sounds awesome. So I had that.
Yeah.
Those are all being sequenced by numeric repetitor and a grids.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then that like big distorted kind of single string sound. Was that a Mutable Instruments?
That was Platts, yeah.
Cool. And then I was curious about the distortion. Or what kind of modules you were using for that?
Say that again. You cut out a second.
Like distortion. Are you using any distortion modules?
I have. So the ensemble, if you turn up the FM, or the FM and something else, the warp, it actually starts distorting a little bit. Really, kind of a fuzzy kind of distortion, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was overdriving the stereo dipole filter a little bit on
okay, nice.
Yeah, on the sounds coming from the
that sounded great.
Surface. Yeah, this is the first time I've used the Surface. I just got it like day before yesterday, so this is absolutely the first time I've used it. So it's kind of a challenge to use it. It's fun.
That's the Qubit Surface?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I have plenty of rings, and this is probably one of the first patches I've done where I haven't used rings, and it's a good substitute for it. It sounds pretty cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. I just got a rings for the first time, and it's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get clouds now. You got clouds, right?
Yeah.
You got clouds too?
No, I don't have clouds yet. I'm like, I'm a holdout, man. Holding out.
You gotta get the thing. No, they go together. They're like twins, okay?
I know, that's what everybody says, but I'm good. I like the bass sound that I get.
Yeah, it's a great module. It's my favorite module, I think.
The tetrapads. What were you using the tetrapads for? Is that what those
So I was using the tetrapad. The tetrapad. So I was just using it as a voltage out for changing the model on Platts. So it was going from the string to another percussion instrument.
All right, cool.
So,
Yeah, I heard a lot of sound change when you touch those.
Yeah, so it went from kind of a muted string sound to more of a long, extended string sound.
Okay, right on. Well, thank you again for playing. We really appreciate it, and awesome set.
Yeah, I'm not Midle Finger, by the way. So people may have been expecting that today, right?
Oh yeah, possibly. I did try to I did change it on the YouTube thing and tried to give some heads ups. But yeah, this is Wabi Sabi, everybody.
Yeah. No, I wanted to see Midle Finger, so I'm glad I could step in now. It's too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in last minute. We had a couple people we had both alternates get chosen for this time, so really appreciate it. And yeah, that's just a reminder that if you don't get chosen and you get chosen as an alternate, definitely keep your ears open because you might get chosen.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you again for playing. And yeah, I hope we can have you back soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For sure. Thanks everybody for being here. That was Freq Boutique number 48. What an awesome set. What an awesome show in general. I had a great time. I hope that you did as well. Couple things that we have coming up, just to wrap it up real quick. If you would like to sign up for the Freq Boutique, if you want to play next month's or any month's event, ColoradoModularSynthSociety.com/Freq Boutique sign up with the hyphens. That will get you there. You can also just go to ColoradoModularSynthSociety.com. It's a real easy to find link there. We have some really cool events coming up. We have the CMSS April Skies event, which is going to be on April 25th on the Colorado Modular Synth Society YouTube page. So be sure to check that one out. Hit the reminder button on the YouTube and go to that. We are WM Devices, as you can see on the link here. Make sure to check us out, WMDevices.com. Follow us on Instagram, WM Devices, if you don't already. Yeah, CMSS April Skies event. That event is really fun. It's a space focused event, so it is themed, and it's themed on the idea of space, as in outer space, as in the infinite beyond. So you can, everybody kind of has their own interpretations of what that means and brings it to the show. You got lots of cool ambient performances, lots of cinematic performances. Really fun show. So that is April 25th. Coming up next month, we have the Modular World 1 year anniversary 24-hour stream. I'm going to be playing a set. Monoscene's playing a set. Marie's playing a set. Ton of people are playing this party. This is a stream that was supposed to be 24 hours, and I have no idea what Jono is even up to right now, but it's probably going to be a 36-hour continuous stream. So just lots and lots of music. So be sure to check that out. That is going to be both May 8th and the 9th. And yeah, Modular World is a cool kind of modular on the spot performance showcase that showcases people from all over the world, similar to what we do, but they're really focused on broadening those horizons and getting people from all over. It's more of a curated show than this kind of open mic night event. Yeah, we usually do this event at a bar that is called Fort Greene in Denver. If you are in Denver or near Denver, please consider supporting them. They are open right now. They're doing outdoor and indoor seating, and they have awesome cocktails, great bartenders, good music, just good people. So consider going there. If you are not in Denver, consider going to Fort Greene, maybe .com, FortGreenDenver.com, picking up a gift card, something like that, and sending it to one of your favorite modular synth people in Denver, because, you know, they can use it. Or just hold on to it to next time you're in Denver. Next, we have a couple weekly streams that are really good things just to check out if you're into the modular synth thing and you're trying to find out more places to watch synthesizer events, we have every single Friday, we have the Vino Malo live stream, which starts at 8 p.m. Mountain time. And that's on his channel, Vino Malo. You can just search it in the YouTube, pretty easy to find. And then after that, I don't remember exactly what time it starts, but I think it's around 9 p.m. Mountain time. There's another stream on Fridays called Basement State, and that is the Seattle crew. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to follow Colorado Modular Synth Society, SoCal Synth Society, New York Modular Synth Society. All these places have great events happening all the time, so be sure to follow them and get involved. And I think that's it. So thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us. It was a great night. Thanks for partying with us on the chat, keeping it fun, keeping it positive. That's what it's all about. And yeah, spread the love. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.